Do you like my YouTube videos? If you do, please leave a comment and actually click on the like button. And if you want, you can hit subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. Hey, and go ahead and click that bell icon to be notified. Thanks. Take care, guys. On this video, like the title says, how to give a bearded dragon a bath. And also, why? Because bearded dragons are not reptiles that you have to give a bath to frequently. In fact, bearded dragons live in extremely dry environments. They want very low humidity in their cage. You want to keep the water bowl away from them so it stays nice and dry. But every once in a while, they might get dirty. They might get dirty. They might have a form of impaction. They might have clogged pores. So you have to give them baths. So it's really simple. Here, I have this little 10-gallon fish tank. There goes some warm water. I like it to be slightly above lukewarm, but not hot. And then I'm going to put the bearded dragon in the tank. In this case, I'm going to put Archimedes in the tank. Now, we're going to go over some inconsistencies. We're going to go over maybe some false information and some stuff that you guys really don't have to worry about, okay? So some of the things that I think we want to address is, how much water, what do you do, do I need a scrub, soap, reptile shampoo, all of that stuff. Okay, easy things out of the question first. No, you don't need any reptile shampoo. 2, normally, for a normal bath, you don't need any scrubbing. I don't recommend that you get an old toothbrush and you brush their backs or anything. There are some times where maybe she's very dirty or he or she, your reptile, and there is something you need to get off. So you can take a toothbrush out and give them a light once over. If just normal rinsing wouldn't clear it, guys, but normally it'll clear it. If you have a good environment, in their case, you know that I don't use a substrate, either a reptile carpet, newspaper, paper towel, something like that. She's not going to have sand or dirt on her anywhere, and you don't have to worry about that. I prefer slightly above lukewarm water. That way it'll stay warmer longer. I like to put the water just over halfway. So the water is going to just come up above her back. If you look at her, the water line comes to right above my finger. So it just comes up above the halfway. You don't have to worry. Your reptile's not going to drown. Even in a relaxed stance, you can see the water line is here. Her head is way above the water, so you don't have to worry about that. You do want to make sure your tank is clean because there is a chance that your reptile, if they're thirsty, will drink this water. So you want to make sure that there's nothing in the tank that can mix with the water that then your reptile is going to drink. And the other thing I've seen people do is they're worried about water getting on your bearded dragon's head, specifically because of their ears. And I've even seen some videos where they say you got to watch out for the holes in the side of their head. Oh, God, my head hurts. So guess what, guys? We have ears too. And just like with lizards, there is an eardrum in there. So if water were to get in there, no, it doesn't rush and flood and go into their brain and they're going to die. That is just wrong. I can only assume that's why they think water getting in the holes in the side of their head is bad. But those are just their ears. The drum is in there and it's fine. Also, they have holes in their face because they have 2 nostrils, so some water could get in there. Most of the time, if that were to happen, the lizard's going to be holding their breath if they dunked their head underwater on purpose, or they'll just blow some of the air out and some water will come flying out. Like a lot of the times with turtles, you pick them up and they boop, shoot 2 little streams of water out their nose because they're just blowing out any water that was in there. Another thing I see that I don't like is the length of time people give for these baths. One of the most common ways I see people give baths are in the sink. And that's fine, especially if your sink is large enough or your lizard is small enough to be accommodated in the sink. Now, sometimes depending on your sink, it's easy for your reptile to get out because the next thing that you want is you want to be giving your reptile enough time in the bath. Whether they've got stuck shed or an impaction, or in Archimedes' case, she's been eating a lot, lately. A lot. But she hasn't gone to the bathroom in about a week. That's not in itself dangerous, guys, because bearded dragons, some will relieve themselves every day. Some will relieve themselves multiple times a day, and some will relieve themselves longer. I just want to make sure everything is good in there. So sometimes the warm water and moving around when they're in the bath will help loosen everything up in there, and then they'll just be able to blow that all out. Or maybe not. We'll see. But so I'd like to let them sit for a minimum of 15 minutes, up to a maximum of 45 minutes at a time. But really the sweet spot is that 30-minute mark. That should be able to get you everything you need. And as long as your water is at a good temperature and your house isn't super cold, you shouldn't have to switch the water out at all. If you feel like it does cool down too often, sometimes putting a heat mat on low underneath the tank can help keep the water at the temperature you want. Sometimes in the winter when it's a little cooler, I would use a heating pad to keep the water warm, because although the room is warm and their tank is warm, they come in here and it's, open and it's exposed in a different room and everything. So that just keeps it nice and warm. You don't have to worry about, them climbing out, because if they're in a tank like this, the walls are really high, so they're not going to get out of there. But always keep that in mind. If you're soaking a snake or a larger lizard that could climb out, you're going to want to put a top on this thing. Sometimes, too, covering it, if you had a lot of traffic, will make your lizard just feel more relaxed. In this case, she's just relaxing, soaking it in, and it's all good. So, this is the big thing. This is how you want to give most of your lizards a bath. Those misconceptions about, hey, hold your lizard under the sink and under the faucet as the faucet is running, and then get your toothbrush out and lightly scrub your lizard. I can't even think of many cases where that would be necessary. So that is not what you want to do. Yes, they may have an impaction, an infection, a wound you have to clean, dried waste on them, on their back, on their stomach. So there are times that you may have to do this, but this is the normal. Also, guys, though, you don't have to do this all the time. Sometimes people say, hey, I'm bathing my bearded dragon once a week. No, there's no need. In a nice environment, yeah, maybe you can give them once a month if it looks like they've gotten anything built up or maybe walked into their waste, But those are different spot baths. But otherwise, if life is just running as normal for your lizard, you're just going to give them this to make sure that they're healthy, make sure that their skin stays hydrated if they've got stuck shed, especially if you have a scaleless bearded dragon that's going to need, soakings and misting more often. Hopefully, guys, this has answered your questions on how to properly give your bearded dragon a bath. I would give you a nice time lapse. Okay, guys, so by now you've seen the time lapses from Archimedes, who didn't go to the bathroom in the soak, although she was really bloated. Mongo, who did go to the bathroom while in his soak. And Johnny Cage, who I know wasn't going to go to the bathroom because earlier in the morning today, I had cleaned up his cage and he had gone to the bathroom. So those results were expected except for Archimedes, who almost instantly, when I put back inside of her cage, did this.